All right, let's talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers. We've got to look, training camp right around the corner. A lot of momentum building behind this football team. We talked about them a lot. I think they're kind of a sneaky, talented roster, not just in their division, but the entire AFC. But there's one young Pittsburgh Steeler in particular that I think is set to have a breakout year.
Yeah, Nick, I think one of my favorite times is when the Pittsburgh Steelers head down to Latrobe. It's a special time of year, lets you know football is right around the corner. But this guy, the story that you have brought up today, I think it has been out of everyone's purview for a while. I think it's really kind of sunk under the radar. And I think once people watch this guy, it's really going to surprise them. So I think the Pittsburgh Steelers fans, listen up because you're going to like this one today. But I have another question for you Steelers fans in the comment section below. This is a hard one because there have been a lot of quick Steelers throughout history. Few stick out in my mind, but I want to know today in the comment section below, who is the fastest Pittsburgh Steeler of all time? Who could really turn on the Jets? Let us know in the comment section below. But Nick, let's get on into it. What's going on with the Pittsburgh Steelers?
Yeah, look, so we talked about it a few days ago when we did our preview of the AFC North. The Steelers have a really good roster, really high ceiling, a lot of young guys potentially in positions to take big leaps. They're really good at a lot of positions. They're a very deep football team. But one of the things that hurt the Steelers last season was they did have some injuries at some key positions, and they had to rely on a lot of guys for depth. That's just how it is in the NFL. You need quality depth players. Well, there's one guy who's slated to fill that role absolutely perfectly, and I think Steelers will be excited about this. Miles, if you want to go ahead and throw up the report from Steelers now, well, I'll read from it. This involves young defensive back Elijah Riley. All right, from the report, training camp is coming up in only a few days. On Wednesday, Steelers players will report to Latrobe for their conditioning run. Then on Thursday, they will take the field for the first practice. But who could stand out as a sleeper that no one sees coming? How about none other than veteran defensive back? They say veteran, but he's only been in the NFL a couple years. And slot cornerback Elijah Riley. No one is talking about Riley, but they probably should be. At Steelers OTAs and minicamp, Riley proved to be the definition of a ball hawk. He forced 2 fumbles and nabbed an interception over those weeks, impressing coaches. I'll tell you what, he can play in this league, secondary coach Grady Brown said at minicamp. You go back to the Raiders game, and he gave us some really valuable reps. It's just about building consistency, but there's no doubt he can play in this league. Riley's background is a unique one. Coming out of Army, the cadet knew the value of discipline and hard work. Now, with the Steelers needing help in the slot and depth at safety, Riley is hoping to seize the opportunity. All right, Miles, again, I think this is not a guy. We're not saying he's going to be better than Joey Porter Jr. We're not going to say he's better than Minka or even Devontae Casey or even new addition Keanu Neal. I think he has a potential to break out as a quality depth piece because we know, and I brought up guys like Keanu Neal, he's up there in age. He's missed some games. Casey, has missed some time in his career as well, especially he's up there as well. He's 30 years old. Even Minka misses a game or two now and then. Patrick Peterson at one of their corner. He's an older guy as well. This is an older secondary. Injuries are going to happen. These guys are going to miss games. Unfortunately, the Pittsburgh Steelers is absolutely brutal, especially in the division. You got the Bengals and their horses on offense. The Ravens are going to be better on offense. The Browns are going to be good on offense. You need a lot of depth guys in the defensive backfield that could step in at a moment's notice when guys go down, because it's not an if, it's a win. And Elijah Riley, in my opinion, has a chance to be that kind of guy. He steps up when his number is called. That's what I always look for in breakout candidates. They brought up the Raiders game. I thought he played very well in that game when he had the situations. Big win for Pittsburgh, of course, beating the Raiders on a last-second touchdown to keep him in the playoff hopes. I think Elijah Riley is building off of that momentum. We saw that mini camps and OTAs, and I think he's going to be a crucial piece on the depth side for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, Nick, I think Riley is a very interesting player. He's bounced around for a while, been on the practice squad, been elevated from practice squad. The thing that sticks out to me with a guy like Riley is there's never been a moment that was kind of too big for him. He always comes in when he's needed, and he seems to be rock solid. He's a guy that you can trust. Now, he is not a Devontae Casey. He is not a Minka Fitzpatrick. He is not a, Patrick Peterson level of talent, but he's good enough. He's a very solid player. Like you said, in training camp, early on in minicamp, training camp, he was a ball hawk. He made some plays on the ball. So he's good enough, and he is a good enough depth piece, as we've said, to be in here if any of these guys go down due to injury, in which is a very all likelihood a possibility this season. There's guys that might have soft tissue damage, be out banged up for a day or a game or two, something like that. This is a guy that you can feel comfortable about coming in. Like I said, he's been bouncing around that slot corner. He's been bouncing around safety. He has a lot of experience at a lot of different positions in the secondary. So I think this guy could be a very valuable piece for the Pittsburgh Steelers going forward. And I like that he's finally getting a little bit of shine. I want to see him go all the way through a training camp, see him get some more play in the preseason, because this is a guy that I think is going to be really underrated, mainly because he's going to be a depth piece, but it could be a really crucial depth piece for the Steelers going forward.
Yeah, yeah, and he's kind of a positionless player. We talk about that all the time, that growing thing on football right now, especially on the defensive side of the ball. You need guys who can line up and do a lot of different things. That's what Keanu Neal, for example, can do. He can play strong safety, free safety, can be an in-the-box linebacker when the position persists. Riley's kind of the same way. He's listed as a safety on a lot of charts, but he can play slot corner. He's a very versatile guy, did a lot of different things in college. I think he has a chance to really make a name for himself this training camp. I'm excited to see what he can do. I think he has a chance to really be a key piece for them. Look, and there will be a game. You mentioned it. A guy's going to go down. They're going to have one of these guys step up. And I think Riley is the perfect guy to do that, especially in a big game late in the year. You can see him against the Cincinnati Bengals, see him against the Baltimore Ravens, be involved in a few key defensive sequences. And I think the momentum for that is starting right now.